My colleague Xoli Mngambi joins us now from the Results Operations Centre in Midrand. Xoli, good evening to you. Of course, all sorts of things going on there. What are people saying?
Well, Steve, good afternoon to you. Well, I'm even losing track of time because of just the speeches that we heard here today. And I think one particular description that has been made about this particular Results Operations Centre today is that it is the theatre of transparency when the voting process starts getting away, and importantly, the vote counting process. This is the heartbeat of where everything is going to be collated. But I don't want to waste too much time, Stephen, explaining what is going to happen here, because the Chief Electoral Officer, Sy Mamabolo, is with me right now, who is going to explain. See, good evening to you, and let's look that way as Stephen and I talk to us first about the leaderboard. That leaderboard, very clear in terms of the national ballot, but you've got to explain the two provincial sides, what those are going to signify.
Well, this is an important feature of the Results Centre, because it will give us a reflection of how good participants are doing. The middle one is for the Parliament, the National Assembly, so it keeps a tally of all votes counted in respect of the National Assembly. And all the side ones are provincial ballots for the composition of the provincial legislature. So it is that window that gives everyone a glimpse into how parties are doing.
So as we move away from that leaderboard, CE, the results that will start trickling in from there, will those be certified numbers that are coming in, and they are coming in as live?
Indeed, whatever goes onto that screen would have been verified and would have been audited by the independent audit industry. We did indicate that we've put together a consortium of independent audit firms led by Grant Thornton, who are going to be looking into the results, auditing them. So whatever goes onto that screen would have passed those processes.
Let's then walk and talk, CE, because I'd like for you to take us through who is going to be seated here. I think we're going to call it, for purposes of this this broadcast right now, the red carpet space. Who sits here and what is it that they do?
This, in fact, we call it an X because if you look at the configuration, it's actually an X.
Indeed, I see that.
It is an X. Our staff will be sitting here. They'll be talking to provinces, they'll be talking to voting stations, they'll be resolving any problems of stations not opening or any disruption that there may be. If there are undersupplies at any particular voting station, that will be done from here. So really this is the heart of the whole centre, because we use this place to coordinate the whole electoral effort.
Almost troubleshooters, if you like.
Indeed, this is the place for troubleshooters.
Okay, let's go to this side, because yes, this is where then political parties are going to be seated, and I want for us to see the one that is not yet occupied, African Movement Congress. I can't tell you who runs that party because there's so many of these political parties. But let's talk about this, CEO. So when the political party representatives are sitting here, what is this screen going to essentially be showing them?
They're going to be given access to a number of reports. Amongst others, is going to be a report of voting stations that are open and voting stations that are not open. They'll also get another screen for them to log complaints with the IEC. It's called an issue tracker. And then once they've logged and submitted a complaint, it goes to the cross to troubleshooters. That's where it will be investigated and closed. They'll also, once results start trickling in, they'll have the image of the result slip from a voting station. They'll also have the actual captured result on screen here. Yeah. So they will be placed in possession, basically, of all the details they need to make their life easy and ensure that they really feel happy about the fact that they either won or didn't do as well. But facilities are there for them.
There's something interesting I heard this afternoon as one of you was addressing upstage, and it was said that the actual counting is not going to be done here. It is done at the voting station, where there is going to be each party agent that is overlooking that process. So whatever political party is contesting the space, their agents are going to be spread out to all the 23,000 voting stations. So once that result from that one voting station is concluded, it is certified and then it is brought here. Am I getting that information correctly? Am I explaining this correctly? So that when these people then that sit here, what is their duty once that process at the voting station has been done and concluded?
No, your understanding is correct. Counting is going to happen at the station where the ballots were cast, and party agents will countersign the result slip. Once it's captured and audited, only then does it become available here.
Yeah.
A party can compare what is captured against what their party agent told them to be the result. So there are those checks and balances that can be created even at a party level.
All right, one more place that I think you need to show us, CEO. And so we're going to go again. My colleague behind the camera there, Max, is going to forgive us today. We are very clumsy this afternoon. We're going to go this side, CE, because we're now going to the place that is going to show us the broadcasting heartbeat of what is going to happen here. Some 1,000 journalists, I am told, are accredited to essentially cover these elections. Let's start with the fantastic station called Newzroom Afrika. That's our cubicle. We are going to be there. Talk to us about the importance of media personnel who are going to be covering this. How significant, or why is that so important for the IEC?
Now, it is quite important that we have all broadcasting services in the country represented here, because the media helps us to carry the message out to the public. They create a window of opportunity that citizens don't otherwise have to be able to see, because this gives electoral democracy a face. And the media is the conduit through which we take the process into homes, into lounges of people.
Final question to you, CE, and this is the most important aspect perhaps. The chairperson spoke about rigging, and I think he went some distance reassuring that rigging is the one thing that you are completely going to ensure that it is not, or it does not happen in this election, nor has it featured in other elections, by the way. How does the IEC get it right over and over again?
Well, it's about the checks and balances that are inherent in the system. Firstly, counting at the voting station. It's a very important check and balance. Secondly, having party agents as well as observers observing the process. Also bringing in the auditors to ensure that they independently audit the work that we do. And lastly, also having party agents political parties audit the result system. Because at least 4 of them, by the way, brought in their auditors to audit the result system, so that they can find a level of comfort with what the result system does. But even so, we've done our own audits ourselves from the independent audit industry, and we will give them a certificate from the audit industry to say this result system does that which it ought to do. So there are all those checks and balances that are inherent into the system that guarantees that the outcome of an election is the true reflection of the will of the voter.
Sy Mamabolo, thank you very much. Chief Electoral Officer of the Independent Electoral Commission of South Africa. And the last conversation was almost deliberate, Stephen, because there are political party representatives that are spread out throughout this place, and they were here also listening in at about 6 o'clock. That's the time when my show, One After Yours, comes on, and we are going to talk to some of those political parties just to hear from their side whether they are satisfied with what they have heard here, but more importantly, the state of readiness as we edge ever so close to that date of May 29th.
And Xoli, I mean, it's interesting to see there's so many empty seats there. I know you've covered many of these elections. This is the first time we've had the Results Operations Centre in this venue, although it looks exactly like it did in the previous venue in Tshwane. It's going to be absolutely full this time a week from now.
It is going to be packed to the brim, Stephen. In fact, just this afternoon, yes, you're seeing empty seats right now, but many of the people filled up these seats. I can tell you the areas that we haven't shown you, the holding rooms, the dining hall. We have just seen that. We were taken through that by the Deputy CEO. So this place is going to be abuzz with action. And so if you want political party leaders, they are going to be found here on this election floor. So I think starting from the 28th, that's next week Tuesday, I know for a fact that I'm going to be broadcasting from here as part of the Newzroom Afrika team.
Xoli Mngambi, thank you very much indeed. Live already at the Results Operations Centre. And of course, more from him and the team over the next few days. And then, of course, from the moment that the voting ends next Wednesday night.